morning, this is Hot Chocolate with Paul for Saturday, January 4th, 2025. As I record this, it's Thursday, January 2nd, and I am waiting for the taxi to pick me up to go to Miami. Rochester Airport at 4 o'clock in the morning. I've often said the only good reason to get up early in the morning is to take transportation to go somewhere fun. Yeehaw! I tend to be early for things like this. After our plane taxied out to the runway, we ended up needing to turn back because there were actually 2 medical emergencies on the flight. So we had to go back to let them off. This ended up causing a delay of over an hour for us. I barely made it to my connecting flight in Baltimore. I'm in Miami right now and ready to move on. This is the MIA Mover coming out of the airport on my way to the transportation hub. Now I'm looking for the Metrorail, which is going to take me to downtown Miami. $2.25 for a one-way train ticket. That's all it's going to cost me to get from the airport to my hotel. Now I transfer to the Metro Mover inner loop. There's no cost for this. I can see some ships in the distance. Down the steps, and there's my hotel across the street. Here's my hotel room. I didn't ask for it, but I got this thing that says audio-visual door alert for the hearing impaired. There we are. That's a purple in here. Stacy would like it. Big screen TV. Tourist. Here's the lighting control. You can change different colored lights. Behind these glass doors, the shower with the rainforest type of spout. And that would be the toilet. Look outside the window. And the side of the bed is this thing that makes it go up and down the back part. I would call this hotel chic. And down here below the vanity is where the refrigerator is. Now that I'm in Miami, it's time to dress for the weather. The way the elevators work here, I guess they call them smart elevators. Swipe my card, say I want to go to the lobby. And there it is, going down to the lobby. It's in the mid-70s here in Miami. I'm heading in the direction towards Bayfront Park. A little breezy here. There's a CVS right here where I can pick up a few things that I did not pack, such as sunscreen. Couldn't bring sunscreen on as a carry-on. Bayfront Park. There's the big Ferris wheel, Margaritaville, Hard Rock Cafe, cruise port. Must be some kind of a dinner cruise. All the people over there waiting to get on. It looks like they're taking down the stage and all the other stuff that was here for the big New Year's Eve celebration. A memorial to John F. Kennedy, the torch of friendship. All right, let's see if I'm pronouncing this correctly. The Maurice A. Farrer Park, Farrer, whichever. Anyways, this is where I'm looking to see some ships. Listening to those ships. Watching this pirate boat or whatever it is in front of the Carnival Sunrise turning around in the port of Miami. This is a nice little park. Nice sculptures here. And there's a lot more down there. It's now morning in Miami and day 2 as I start a full day in Miami. I did think about going to the beach today, but I decided to take it easy and just spend the day right here at the hotel. It's a pretty nice hotel. If I wasn't clear about it before, the hotel brand is YOTEL, Y-O-T-E-L. It's the first time I've ever heard it. It's a little different from what I'm used to, but it's actually kind of cool. And as I said earlier, I would consider this style to be chic. So instead of going to the beach, I'm just going to hang out on a lounge chair. There's a very nice pool area upstairs. There's a bar by it. There's those lounge beds that you can rent for a day, or I don't know. I'm not getting into anything like that. You know, those covered beds that they have. I'm not getting into anything like that. I'm just going to pick a chair and hang out for a while. I'll have my my tablet with me, so maybe I'll watch a movie with that too. I've got headphones to go with that. So later in the day, I'm going to go back out to Bayfront Park, maybe do some more walking around, and in the late afternoon, I want to end up by the same spot I was in yesterday, watching some of the ships leave. So according to the website I looked at, there should be 7 cruise ships in port today. So that should be fun to watch. And then after that, I'm going to be meeting people from the cruise at a pre-cruise meet and greet at the Margaritaville at Bayfront Park, and that is included in this video, so stay tuned if you want to see that. So I've advertised this as a budget journey to Europe. I should say I built it as a budget journey to Europe. And if you're curious about how much I'm really costing this trip, I have a basic breakdown of all the significant numbers. Reminder, this is off season. You know, this is 4 weeks in January. I started this on January 2nd, and I'm flying home on January 29th. So when I got here to Miami, a lot of the places around here have very high fattening food, you know, pizza places and restaurants that just serve foods with a lot of high-fat content. And I'm at a point where I really can't eat too much of that stuff. So what I decided to do, instead of eating out for most of the time I'm in Miami, I went and I picked up some salads and sandwiches that I can just bring back to my hotel room, and I have them here in the refrigerator here. So the flight to Miami was mostly from Southwest. Points and credits we had accumulated. So I had to pay a minimal amount for taxes. And I did pay for the early boarding on Southwest, but since my first flight got to Baltimore late and I missed the boarding time, they refunded my early boarding fee that I paid for that. That was quite an adventure in itself. As I said earlier, there were actually 2 people on the ship, on the plane, that had a medical emergency. So even though we were out there getting de-iced already, we had to taxi back to the gate, and then we got surrounded by emergency vehicles, and EMTs came on board to assist those 2 people that had to be deplaned, I guess is the word. So we got into Baltimore late. I barely made that flight in time. They had already closed off the gate, but then there was me plus 2 other people from my flight, and there were 12 seats open, so they decided to reopen the flight, and they let us board. So I managed to get on. The only thing for me was I was unable to use my early boarding, which is why they refunded it, and I had to pick a middle seat because that's all that was left when I got on the plane. So, truth to be told, I looked for the 2 skinniest people that I could find and sat right between them. But at least they let me have the armrests, so that helped. My biggest problem with that is not the width, it's the legroom. I'm 6'5", and there is literally no legroom. So, thankfully, the person in front of me decided not to recline their seats, so I didn't have to deal with that. So I just watched a movie on my tablet, put the headphones on, and just dealt with it for the 2.5-hour flight. So once I got to Miami, I had to get from Miami airport to my hotel. And the hotel, YOTEL, not a Holiday Inn, is right in downtown Miami. So all I needed was transportation to get to downtown Miami. I paid $2.25 for the train ticket to get me from the Miami airport to downtown Miami. And then there's a free service around here that they call the Metro Mover. It's kind of like a monorail. In fact, it's right here outside of my hotel window. So the Metro Mover had a stop that's literally right in front of my hotel, YOTEL. And as you just saw, the monorails, the Metro Mover is right here outside my window. So this hotel was the one expensive spot in this entire trip. With taxes, it cost about $480 for 2 nights. It's really a lot more than I would have wanted to pay for 2 nights, but I really wanted to be close to Bayfront Park. So Bayfront Park is a 5 to 10 minute walk from where I am. It's literally 2 blocks outside the YOTEL hotel door. And that's where I spent the earlier part of yesterday. Now, I said I was not going to go to the beach today as I was originally thinking. And if I were going to do that, I would have purchased a 1-day bus ticket for $5, which would have allowed me to go anywhere in the transportation system for $5. I don't need that. I'm going to be walking, but again, that's a significant part of me keeping this entire trip to a budget. So the first cruise ship I'm going to be on for 13 nights is the Norwegian Bliss. I paid $1,387.72 for an inside studio solo cabin. Now think about it. Just under $1,400, and for 13 nights I get lodging and all the food I want to eat from the main dining room and the buffet. Think about trying to spend that kind of money for 13 nights in a hotel with needing to eat at restaurants. That's where the budget comes in. And this was a reduced price too from what you might normally see for a cruise like that. I did not get the specialty dining or the drink package. I'm perfectly fine with just eating in the main dining room and the buffet. Now, truth to be told, since I am platinum status, I do get 2 specialty dining restaurant dinners with my perks. So I will be eating in 2 specialty restaurants, but that's only because it was already included. There's one excursion that I'm paying for that's $185.61 for a private small group tour of Normandy and the Normandy beaches. That's a bucket list item for me, and that's one of the reasons I'm going on this trip, is because I've always wanted to see Normandy. There's a couple other excursions that I'll be taking. They're somewhere in the range of $50 or less. So when I get to Southampton, England, I'm going to literally walk over to the MSC Preziosa because it is scheduled to be docked right next door to the Bliss. That one was also on sale, $663.53 for 7 nights. Once again, that includes all the lodging for 7 nights and unlimited food in the buffet and the main dining room. Then once I get back to Southampton a second time, I'm going on the Eurail train system in Europe. I paid $362 for 4 days of travel. I can get on and off the trains as much as I want during the 4 days that I start using them. I would get to Luxembourg, and I would stay at the City Hotel in Luxembourg for 1 night. That's $125.40. And then I will train on to Munich, Germany. And for 4 nights, $416.23. While I'm in Munich, I booked a 1-day excursion. It's a tour that includes the castles Neuschwanstein and Linderhof. And that includes snacks and drinks. And that will also be a small group tour. Actually, that's on Viator. I take that back. That's on Viator. And I believe that is a full-size tour bus. I'm not positive about that. I actually don't recall what I paid for it. I couldn't find the information with what I have here, but I'm going to guess it's probably somewhere in the $150 to $200 range. I could be wrong about that. So once I'm done in Munich, my flight back, again, because of my legroom situation, I'm looking at 9 to 11 hours worth of flying. And there was absolutely no way I would put up with sitting in economy for 9+ hours on a flight. So I was able to find a good deal on a first class seat for $1,161.20 going from Iceland to JFK in New York City. And then from JFK, I'm going to take JetBlue back to Rochester with accumulated points and credits. This is the pool area. There's the bar down at the end. Here's the beds that I spoke of. And there's the pool. Coming onto the hotel lobby and then heading back to Bayfront Beach to do some more ship spotting. Walking along the road here, just constant traffic jams it seems. I hear a lot of honking too. It's kind of like New York City. I don't want anything to do with bringing a car in here. I like what I did. I took the train in from the airport, and there was no traffic to deal with. It was an elevated train, so I had a nice view the whole time. There you go. I'm back at the Port of Miami, and that's the Carnival Conquest coming up to turn around. And that's the Norwegian Gem turning around behind me. The sun has set, and I am at the Bayfront Park, Margaritaville, where I'm supposed to meet some cruisers for the first time. I had a nice time meeting some of the people that are going to be going on this cruise on the Bliss with me. I took one picture. I'm back in my hotel room, and that is the end of my stay in Miami. The next episode of Hot Chocolate with Paul will come out on Wednesday, January 8th, and that will be the start of my 13-night cruise across the Atlantic on the Norwegian Bliss. I hope you're enjoying my budget journey to Europe, and that'll do it for me. I'm Paul Pakish, and this has been Hot Chocolate with Paul.